Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Yeah.
Come on, baby.
It's ready.
So I wanted to show you a picture. This is in Mayapur. Years ago, the Prabhupada was carried from the stair. He looked down there from the Jesus' room. And he cried. He said, "This is my victory." And it's true. Because, you see, victory doesn't come with work. Prabhupada worked like anything to get there. You know, this was he was a victory. This is Krishna Shakti. This is not normal. Nobody can do that, particularly in age. He was running strength. He did the best, and Krishna did the best. That's Prabhupada's history. Prabhupada came to all. But it's me right there.
So young. So young.
57 years ago. What do you expect?
At that time I was wild, young, and dumb. Now I'm really dumb. So, what he did was amazing. That he completely dedicated his life to Krishna, and then everything came to him. The whole of the American dysfunctional society. American society is the most dysfunctional society in the world. There's no understanding who's man, who's woman, who's this, and what are the duties of different people. It's completely unclear. Kids are running away from home, are kicked out for 7 years old. I mean, people don't know that even in Los Angeles, in this rich country in the world, there are more than 200,000 people camping under the bridges, Americans, because they can't pay their rents. That's the other side of America. You never see it in the media. There's a huge amount of homelessness. We don't have this in Germany at all. If you have a problem, you go to the social office, they give you a flat. And they give you money, monthly something, and you insurance. I mean, behind the glamour of America, you know, the glamour is for the big people, for the rich people, for the successful people. People who can't pay their rent, good luck to be in America. You know, good luck. And in this confusion, completely confused about what is what, that there was a gold mine planted by Lord Chaitanya a long time ago. And Prabhupada was the miner for that gold mine. He hit that gold mine. All the other gurus, they went to the upper state New York and set together with rich people, with French furniture, and that type of people. And Prabhupada knows Krishna led him into the Lower East Side, which was full of young people rebelling against the consumerism of society. I mean, our generation made no mistakes. We were against consumerism, against the materialistic society. We were looking for some spirituality. I mean, the amount of people that went to India, about 80,000 in 1 year from Germany just in search of a guru. Think about that. It's amazing. I mean, the Minister of Inner Affairs said we were worried, we're losing our own youth. You know, it was the gold mine in Prabhupada knew, he found it, Krishna Lady, that gold mine. You know, that in the beginning, I told the story before, he was sleeping on a straw mat on the stone floor in Damodar. And the straw mat that can roll together in the winter. I feel in winter, when I live in India, when December comes, I'm going to Gujarat. And from there I fly to Mayapur because it's really tough, particularly for old people. And so he was lying on the and he had high fever. And two godbrothers came to him and said, "You have to get a bath, otherwise you die." And he said, "I want to use every piece of the book you use." Every piece of the book you never feel about that. You know? I mean, he lived so poor and pure, you know. We have no idea. But I cannot imagine going in Delhi in the middle of the summer and just reading the magazines from tea store to beach. Everybody knows anything in India. You know, they say, yes, I know Bhagavad Gita, yes. But that's a fact. Hindus know that, but in Delhi, what to do about it? And then he asked God, give me a house by the sea, some benefit. You see, when people in the material world actually who gave to Krishna, most people ask so Prabhupada was just anything which that's why this was his victory. Krishna sent him so many 200, 300 devotees here at that time, you know. And so I have to admit, I pushed myself in that position. I saw the Vyasa standing there waiting for Prabhupada. Someone said, "Can you?" I said, "Nah, I'm going to hold right only here. I want to be the one who can Prabhupada." So I pushed myself in there a little bit for this, to bring Prabhupada down. You see, my right hand is holding these two sticks. The Vyasa-san was this cortege, what do you call that? Cortege. It was unusual because normally the sticks are like this. Palanquin. Normally the sticks are like this, which gives it much more stability. But somehow they make them this way, and the danger that somebody may tip over like this. You know? So the big arm, the fat arm you see there, that is the devotee makes sure the Vyasa-san doesn't tip. Right? This is my hand to carry it. Anyway, this is just in my own, how do you say, let me see, I'm going here.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I think there's some people at the back can't hear.
They cannot hear?
Yeah, no.
You have to just wave, you know, to say, come on, Prithu. You want to hear too. It's not for the boys. What is all this? Very simple. Let me see, I have to go back here now. Oh, this is, can you see that? This is what Prabhupada told one famous musician, Coltrane, Alice Coltrane. She came to Prabhupada in Vrindavan, and she said, Swamiji, I have so many problems. And she started listing her problems. And Prabhupada said, yes. He said, what you should understand? Alice, he said, what you should understand is that as much as possible you chant, then everything will be revealed to you. Very interesting. It will reveal to you. My heart is happy, and I jumped away from the microphone. So to do something substantial, you know, because everybody wants to do even welfare work substantial. You know, because it doesn't, unless it's Krishna Prasadam, it doesn't help really people, because Krishna puts people in trouble, they suffer. Even if you go to a hospital, you cannot avoid them suffering the reactions of their sinful activities, no matter how big the hospital is. If they don't suffer in this life, they're going to suffer in the next life. So in that sense, we have to see things through Scripture, through the eyes of Scripture. That welfare work ultimately it gives temporary relief. That's nice, but it doesn't solve the problem. The problem is that we are suffering the reactions of our material existence, the reactions, and the best way is to turn to Krishna. Sarvadhamma, Pratyadhamma comes to that. Aham Tvam Sarva, he forgives the karma. The Hare Krishna mantra, most efficient way to approach Krishna. All reactions are destroyed, even more reactions or sinful reactions one can commit in one life, one can produce in a lifetime. So that's the thing that he said very carefully. As much as possible, then everything will be healed and you'll be able to do something. I started this movement simply by chanting, then you have it. Easily. And somehow, in later days, I heard that when Prabhupada came to San Francisco, he wanted to, he said the temple in name is in a bad area.
Frederick Street?
Frederick? Is it?
Frederick Street.
In Los Angeles.
No, in San Francisco.
Yeah, that's in Los Angeles. And so he said you should find a new temple. You should go to a big estate agent and find a temple. And so the Gaudiya found a temple, a beautiful building. This is now the building. And they said, well, Prabhu, get no money. The money will come. Krishna is the husband of the goddess of fortune. To please Krishna, you please the goddess of fortune. So he called for the estate agent and started negotiating. The one who threw the nails up to the elbows who were in charge for the money. Because they said, how is this going to happen? It's not rational, you know. And so Prabhupada agreed with him on the price. I mean, that really, Karanda was the top man at that time. He almost flipped when he saw that. And then Prabhupada said, it will be all right, don't worry. So in the evening, a group of people arrived in Hawaii, very well dressed, and one of them introduced himself that he's a yogi, that he has many followers, Hatha Yoga, followers, and he wanted to...
You have to speak very near.
So he wanted to be initiated, and Prabhupada said, we have to follow some principles. He said, yes, we know, no meaning, we do this already, I do this already. So then Prabhupada, then you can take. So he said, but Swamiji, I know I'm getting Dakshini. I'm getting Dakshini. Can I give you some Dakshini? And he said, yes. So there's Samsonite suitcase filled with all these Krishna was blessing him so much. If you go now to Mayapur, I mean, see this huge building, you know, and millions and millions of people coming, you know, and playing darshan. I mean, this is all Prabhupada's, pure Prabhupada's mercy. You know, this is incredible that we are here. I'm here. You know, every single one is in the movement. That's Prabhupada's mercy. That we came here because of his incredible sacrifice. So therefore, Prabhupada is a huge personality and very special. So now we want to go to the verse. Second, I should pull this up. Where is this? Here we go. There it is. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I read the Sanskrit, Sanskrit is Bengali, Seta, Govinda, Sakshat, Chaitanya Goswami, Jiva, Nistarita, Aisha, Dayalu, Ara, Nati. Let's fast forward because our time is precious today. That Govinda appeared personally as Chaitanya Goswami. No other was more merciful in delivering the souls. And then let me read to you what happens here, that after he describes Govinda in his Parmata Brahman feature, another author advances to prove that Lord Chaitanya is identical with Krishna. And so there are so many verses then from Shastra, from different Shastra, from Dharma Upanishad, and proving that Lord Chaitanya is none but Krishna himself. Very special in this age, that's Krishna. And when you sit in lecture, there's an incessant flow of people having darshan. There are ropes there between the bypassers in front of the altar and the rest of the devotees who are here in class. So when they come in by the hundreds, they don't even look at Lord Chaitanya. They don't even look at Lord Chaitanya. They just go right to Radha Krishna. You know, Krishna Balaram some more. You know, and because they have no idea that actual salvation comes from Lord Chaitanya. It's not Krishna, Radha Krishna. That's why we worship Radha Krishna in Aishwarya. Devas, who are you? You stand in front of the king and say, "The other father I came like this." What you present is to the king. No, you don't do this to the emperor. So when you come to Vrindavan, anytime or any major ISKCON temple, you will find how many people stand in front of Lord Chaitanya? 1, 2. How many Krishna Balaram? 5, 10. How many people stand in front of Radha Krishna? 150,000. You know, it is a wrong idea. I asked one girl before I left, young girl. He said, "Are you initiated?" "No, I'm not. Just yes." So what are you? She stood in front of me. I want to become an open. I mean, she doesn't follow the principles. She wants to be gopis. They are manifestations of Krishna's internal energy. This is the highest of the highest of the highest. And we go forward and say, "I want to become a gopi." This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. This is sahajya. This is exactly what is called sahajya. Silly desires. Lord Chaitanya appeared. If you would ask Radha Krishna, "I have this problem," he said, "But listen, I'm being involved in my association with the gopis. We are in this bath. I came particularly for you as Lord Chaitanya. Why don't you go over there? He can help you. He will help you." That's the thing. Why don't you go to Lord Chaitanya? You know? Or to even if you're Lord Nishingadev, that's Krishna also. That's not it's Krishna himself. To Lord Nishingadev, to get rid of your karmasayam, namely the same materialistic desires. But you don't go to Krishna. It's a complete wrong. You won't have any chance to be successful in your prayer. No chance, you know, because that's the top of the range. But people want to go to, "Why should I bother?" I read to you what, let me find it here, what Narottam Thakur says. Being maddened by false perception and identification of the body. One is thinking, "Oh, what is this Nityananda? What can he do for me? I don't care." So that's the mentality, what can Krishna do for me? It's not a pure mentality. What can I do for Krishna? Krishna is not our order supplier. We are his servants, we are his masters. Would you please give me? So this is what Narottam Thakur especially, being maddened by false perception and identification with the body, one thinking, "Oh, what is this Nityananda? What can he do for me? I don't care." If you actually want to approach the association of Radha and Krishna, you must first achieve the mercy of Lord Nityananda. And he is more merciful to you, then you will be able to approach Radha Krishna. Therefore, you should firmly grasp the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. That's the lesson we all have to learn. Because the salvation is coming from Nityananda. Radharani is more merciful than Krishna. Radharani comes as Lord Chaitanya, is more merciful. Then Nityananda is the most merciful. Because when Lord Chaitanya was losing it, when Bhaga and Mada was smashing, throwing some stone at it, Lord Nityananda said, "My dear Lord, he's the most merciful." And there's actually some statement. What is it? I forget it. I won't quote this. Angari, because Lord Nityananda is intoxicated by ecstatic love and is an incarnation of mercy, he does not distinguish between the good and the bad. Therefore, then it's all the same. He delivers all those who fall down And that we should keep in mind. We should hold on to the lotus feet of Nityananda. And I would like to impress this on you, the importance of that. Because if you don't do that for years and years, you're praying to Krishna, oh, Krishna, I can't chant properly, help me. No, if you want to do that, if you want to advance in your spiritual life, you must take shelter from Nityananda. You agree with me? That's almost the data of Vaishnavism, Guru Vaishnavism, to take shelter in Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya. Namo Bhavadanyaya Krishna Prabhupada, Krishna Krishna Chaitanya, Nanda Gora Tivishana. None is more merciful than Lord Chaitanya, it says in this verse. And Lord Chaitanya, Nityananda is even more merciful than Lord Chaitanya. So when Prabhupada opened the temple in Vrindavan in 1900 and what was it, 50?
75.
Eh?
75.
95? 75?
75.
75. Let's go to Nityananda. They don't go to Radha Krishna, they are in a different category. You go to Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya. Therefore, if I'm God, I'm Krishna for whom? And I said, these people are so in the Kali Yuga, they're so off the wall, so sinful. You know, let me come to save them. And then you say, oh, what is this guy? What can he do for me? You know, that's an insult to Krishna, practically speaking. He came, mercy personified for us. And well, I want to become a devotee. Why should I? Somebody said to me, why is Sakya Rasa? I mean, Arjuna was just in Sakya Rasa, somebody told me. How dare you to say that? How all our acharyas, they pray to be a blade of grass at the feet of the Lord. There's one famous guru in the 60s. What is it? The sign, he sells mantras.
Transcendental meditation.
His name starts with Mahari,
Maharishi, Maheshwari.
and the end is Rishi. You know? So, I had personal experience of him. When I was a student, I was an anarchist. We believed completely anti-everything, whole society. We were living in an anarchist ashram, and we opened the newspaper. I said, what is this? Maharishi is coming to town, giving lecture in our university, we're going to go there and give him trouble. So we went there. This is a true story. Okay, we went there, and I was kind of the ringleader, the 12 or so. So he came down with a rose in his hand in the auditorium of the university, right? And he was, and I said, now, 1, 2, 3, Yogi Bear, Yogi Bear, Yogi. He screamed for 10 minutes. He couldn't speak. So finally he got up. And he took his rose, he came up, I was standing at the aisle and smashed me the rose on his head. And I said to my friend, that's not a yogi. Yogi never loses his cool. How can there be a yogi? He's nonsense. I told him right into the face. It's an old story. And I didn't know much about yoga. I was right. I was actually right. Because when he left the body, it's an interesting thing. He said, his disciples asked him, where will you go? He said, I'm going to shake hands with Krishna. Nobody of us would ever think like that. You know? Anybody who's in the know, I want to be a blade of grass at your lotus feet, you know, an atom. You see the point? That means you have no knowledge. You have no knowledge. You had some knowledge naturally, but you didn't have deep realization of the humility of the Vaishnava to be happy with any position that Krishna gives him. It's not that he says, I'm going to become a gopi. This is nonsense. You know? This is nonsense. Simply nonsense. No, he takes any position, any little position in the spiritual world, and maybe even a blade of grass. And so we have to see that in the prayers of Nitya Pakamala, Narottam established the lotus feet of Nityananda as a shelter where one gets something soothing, not only one but millions of moons. He goes on. Without the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, Nityananda, it would be very difficult for him to approach Radha Krishna. If he actually wants to enter into the dancing party of Radha Krishna, he must firmly catch hold of the lotus feet of Nityananda. He goes on only in the past of Narottam started talking about this point, to take shelter at Krishna. You know, so at Lord Chaitanya. And so now, even in practicality, I would like to show you this. Let me see. No. Here. Not that one. That one. All right. You go here. Nityananda. So now listen to this. This is a very important verse. It's from Chaitanya Charitamrita. If one chants the exalted holy name of the Lord again and again, and his love for the Supreme Lord does not develop, and tears do appear in his eyes, it is evident that because of his offenses, his hairstand on end, he is shivering in ecstasy. While chanting, anybody here, please lift your hand. Nobody. Because this verse is describing exactly our position. Is that true? Yeah. Does it? You know, you don't develop tears, and it's not that you're in ecstasy when you chant. You're not on this level yet. So if you find that that is a position of most of the devotees, including myself, we're not on the ecstatic level yet, then what happens? In purport, if one chants Hare Krishna mantra offenses, he does not achieve the desired result. Therefore, one should carefully avoid the offenses which have already been gotten in connection with the described. If one only chants with a slight face in the names of Lord Chaitanya, he quickly cleanses his offenses. Thus, as soon as he approaches the Hare Krishna mantra, he feels ecstasy of life. And then Bhaktisiddhanta said, in this connection, that you take shelter of Lord Nityananda Chaitanya, follows the instructions, become more taller than the tree and humbler than the grass. In this way, chants the holy name of the Lord. Very soon he achieves the platform of chants and loving service of the Lord, and tears appear in his eyes. There are no offenses to be considered in the chanting of Hare Krishna. There are offenses to be considered in chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. There are no such considerations in chanting the names of Bonitai. Therefore, when chants Hare Krishna mantra, his life is still full of sinful activities. It will be very difficult to achieve the platform of loving service to the Lord. But in spite of being offended on chants the holy names of Bonitai, he is very quickly freed from all of his offenses. Therefore, one should first approach Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, or worship Guru Granga, and then come to the stage of worshiping Radha Krishna. So that's a very important instruction there, that the name of Krishna and Lord Chaitanya, they're on the same level. There's no difference. Whether you chant the name of Lord Chaitanya or the name of Krishna, on the spiritual level they are the same. They're full of potency. But if you chant the name of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, there are no fences. That's the difference. You cannot do the fences. In the name of Krishna, you cannot fence. It's accessible, much higher accessibility. And so the advice is by our acharyas that we should chant Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Vedanta Srimati Gaura Bhaktivinoda before chanting Hare Krishna, and chant as much the names of God outside our 16 rounds, chant the names of God, Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, as much as possible. And it's very easy. If you take a shower to chant the Hare Krishna mantra, it's not so easy. But Nita Guranga, you clean, you make tea of potatoes, you work in the garden, Nita Guranga, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Nita Guranga, Gauranga Nityananda. Very easy. You find it's very easy. You can do it everywhere. Very easy. Listen to me as my experience. It works very easily. You can very easily chant enormous amount of mantras, Krishna's names, by approaching Lord Chaitanya, Lord. You can automatically, in due course of time, you get to a high level of purification, and then you will be able to chant Hare Krishna mantra. This is what these verses are saying, essentially that. Right? These are what these verses are teaching us. Very important. We have to focus on Lord Nityananda, on the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. They're here. There it is. That's what we have to focus on. And this is actually the Lord. And I have actually here with me the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. Short book. And you can go around and give everybody put these lotus feet on their heads, right there. You can do this for the boys. And when you finish, you can do it to all the, give it to one girl. All the girls take the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. Don't run away with it. I need some still. So start right here with this gentleman. Now you have the mercy of Lord Chaitanya right on your head. The touch of the lotus feet. What more do you want? Isn't it? Isn't it wonderful? Now show another picture of the lotus feet. These are my favorite lotus feet. They're in the temple in Pandharpur, which is in what's it called? Maharashtra. Maharashtra. And they're installed by Lokanath Maharaj. And they're absolutely gorgeous. And I probably get this here. There it is. They're wonderful. Sometimes in our life we have to go there and have these lotus feet and touch them. Very beautiful, isn't it? If anybody wants to have a picture of that, just I'm on WhatsApp, you can collect people's addresses maybe and I mail them out to you and you can distribute them. And there's things like that. And there's another thing I wanted to show you here. It's also beautiful. If you look at this picture, there's some scratch on it, unfortunately. You can see this on this side. This picture is more than 400 years old. It was bought by a Russian and devoted by bribing the Pujari in Radhakunda. He smuggled it out of the country. And the Russians, they used to worship icons. They worshipped them all over Russia. It's a beautiful picture, very innocent by some painted Lord Nityananda. You see it's torn here at the bottom and there are tears here. It's very old. He smuggled it out of the country by Indian law. It's not allowed to smuggle artifacts out of the country, so he did this somehow or other. And so I'm going to get a very better picture now. So it should be noted in this connection that the holy names of Krishna Goswami are both identical, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, one should not consider one name to be more potent than the other. They are the same, the potency is the same. Considering the position of people in his age, however, the chanting of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is more essential, even in chanting Hare Krishna mantra, because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's most magnanimous incarnation is mercy, easily achieved. Therefore, must take shelter of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by chanting Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Shri Advaita Shiva. And by serving Gaudiya Thakur, he is free from the entanglement of material existence and thus become qualified to worship Sri Radha Krishna. So that's the important part that I wanted to relate to you. Lord Nityananda, what is it? Anyone who has not established a relation to Nityananda has understood the human life. I mean, I'm not saying that. It's not my opinion. This is what the Lord said in Shastra. Such a human being is actually an uncontrolled animal, welcome to the club. Because he never uttered the holy names of Nityananda, he's become merged into so-called material happiness. What can his useless education and family tradition do to help him? The Lord's feet of Nityananda are not illusion, they are fact. One who engages in the transcendental loving service of Nityananda is also transcendental. Always catch the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. This Narottam Das is very unhappy. Therefore I'm praying to Lord Nityananda to make me happy. My dear Lord, please keep me close to your lotus feet. Nityananda Prabhu. So we are actually very fortunate in that sense that we have been given this facility to approach, what's that?
This one?
This one?
Yeah.
We'll see it again. Wait. I'll get it really big. There. So I'm actually giving you a very important message, something you can take home. That keep Lord Chaitanya's, Nityananda's lotus, keep Lord Chaitanya in your mind before anything else. And then automatically the door opens to Krishna, to Radha Krishna. Because otherwise you're philosophically incorrect. I mean, even in Vrindavan, I told you, most people are Hindus, they don't understand Lord Chaitanya, or the others are rich parsis. They have no concept of Lord Chaitanya either. You know, they, in Varsana, they're chanting Radhe Radhe Sham Sham, Radhe Radhe Sham Sham. We don't have this in our temple in Vrindavan, it's banned. Because that's not our Lila, that our kirtan, that men sing, women sing back forth, back forth. That's not what we learn from Prabhupada. It's, in Vrindavan you can't do that. Tamil Nadu is not that. And Los Angeles also. So we have to understand our position is to simply take shelter in Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, and then our chanting in due course of time will become very powerful. Hare Krishna. Was that nice?
Yeah.
I chant like this, you know. I put it under my pillow, you know, I sleep. You know. It is a wonderful thing to have. Had somebody, I saw a bead bag that had these lotus feet, and so I bought the bead bag and asked the tailor to cut it out and turn it into a tapestry. You know, so that's where it comes from. I carry it wherever I go, and today it's a darshan. I wish you all the best in your spiritual life. May Krishna bless you more and more. You are already incredibly blessed. Because who is here from your friends of in kindergarten, primary school, secondary school, high school, university? Who is here? Who is here? Nobody. Not one person. We all started at this together. Everybody's gone. Everybody is way out there, you know? So this is very special. It's like a tree. When you have a tree, all the ants are climbing down the same. In this tree, there's only one mango and one branch, right? One mango. So all the ants climbing, and then there's the first fork. Each one go into the heart of the tree where there's no mango. Again a branch, again there's one how do you say, one juncture after the other. And only then, one day, somehow we come to the position that the mango is right there. And then Prabhupada said, I gave you the ticket to this mango. You have the ticket, but you have to work for the visa. Prabhupada said, I gave you the ticket, you have to work for the visa. You know, even if I have a ticket to America, I still have to get a visa, otherwise I can't enter, you see. Prabhupada is so charming, the way how he expresses this, you know. I mean, I love to, I just heard from Hari Story, at one time Prabhupada, when he was very sick in the end, he said, now I'm an old man and I'm not going to live long. He said, there's no question of sex desire, there's no question of defense. I think I must be liberated. It's so nice, you know, how Prabhupada speaks, you know, that he was most humble, he was a very charming person. I had quite some experience with Prabhupada over the years. I had to sing for him every day in his last 3 weeks, every single day, for a good amount of time, 6 hours. That's a lot of association. And so I saw how he lived and how he left. And one thing I saw one time, his secretary wanted to give him medicine. He wanted medicine. So he gave Prabhupada medicine, and Prabhupada said, he could hardly speak. He said, leave you close the bottle. And what you think is it's so important. The person is leaving his body. And he said, no, Prabhupada. He said, that is your disease. He said, all of you. You know how to open bottles. You don't know how to close them. You start so many new things, and you don't see the consequences. You see the whole material nature. What have the scientists done to this planet? Opening bottles. They don't see the consequences. The consequences are with all our scientific, the rivers polluted, the oceans are polluted, the mountains are polluted, the air is polluted, the food is polluted, your body is polluted. There's no end to the pollution. And nobody knows how to close a bottle. You know how to open bottles, you don't know how to close them. Prabhu said it was such a deep statement actually, made out of such a little thing. Out of such a little thing, he could develop a whole philosophy, you know. That was Prabhupada. You have such a opening bottles. In Krishna consciousness, you must be very careful not to open bottles. Starting new things. The whole world is full of it. If you look at what because that's the nature for schism. Jesus spoke, Sanatana Dharma, Prabhupada told us, love you all, your heart is all your soul, is all your mind. That's Sanatana Dharma. And then in the first generation, Paul invented the dying God. It has absolutely nothing to do with it. No, that is Appa Sampradaya. God doesn't die. That's Appa Sampradaya. So the first incarnation, in the first generation, they created Jesus West. That's Jesus West. Paul was a Roman. It's a Roman take on, because in Roman you have the Savior God, Mitra, comes actually from the worship of India. God is a friend, is Mitra. By the time it comes to Sumeric culture, it becomes the sun god. By the time it reaches Rome, it becomes the Savior God who descends from the high and dies for his followers. That's where it comes from. It's the sun god. Christians are supposed to worship the Jews are worshiping the Sabbath. It's one of the 10 commandments. You must worship the Sabbath. The Sabbath is Saturday. How come Christians have the Old Testament, the Torah, is part of their Shastra? How come they don't follow? Because they follow the Sunday, which is the day of Mitra. You see, to make the movement accessible to Romans, to play up to the sentiments of the Romans, the idea is that they assimilated the dying God into their reformating Jesus according to the Roman taste. As Paul said, to the Greeks I'm the Greek, to the Romans I'm the Romans. The Sunday. And Jesus was born in winter. How can that be? If you look at the Bible, there were shepherds in the field. If you go to Israel in winter, it's crucially cold, like Germany. There are no shepherds in the field because in summer. So how come Christmas is in winter? Because the sun god, solstice, is the day when the sun becomes bigger. It's the birthday of the sun god, is celebrated in the solstice, which was, according to the Roman calendar, the 24th of December, which happens to be Christmas. You see, there's a whole pagan concept superimposed on the very simple Sanatana Dharma teaching of Jesus. That's what people they impose, trying to assimilating issues from the form of the teaching to the point of being, you can't even recognize it anymore. What was originally spoke or said. You lose it by opening bottles. So, did you close the medicine? Bottle? No, I forgot. This is your disease. You know how to open bottles, you don't know how to close them. You start solving new things, you don't see the consequences. You know how to live, but you don't know how to die, Prabhupada said. And then later on, he called Yaruba, the filmer. He said, you should film. That's where this film comes from. The sequence of this developed. You know, I was right there, so I know what happened there. You know, so the danger in Krishna consciousness is that we open new bottles. You know, that we try to invent this invention, that invention. It's better to stay close to the root as possible. As possible. And as close to the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, and so we hear today, don't rush to Radha Krishna. Yes, we pray, we worship these deities in all veneration, but actually for help, we have to go to Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Do you have any questions? You can read this up in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, 8th chapter, verse 29 and 29 and 30. So Adi Lila, 8th chapter, and verses 29 and 30. There, this is described. Yeah, you just do this. I wish you very well. You have a wonderful time in Krishna consciousness. You're already on the way. Keep going. Keep going. You know, this is the thing. This is what you have to get in your brain. You have to keep going. This is the secret is. One time we had a panel of something like 4 devotees. Satyananda Swami was there, and Gurvani Maharaj was there, Bhakti Bhavana, Bhakti Bhushan as well. So one person raised the question, how come you're still around? We are 50 years in Krishna consciousness. So I said, it's very simple. He said, what is your secret? How come you're still here? I said, you have to stick to it. You have to stick to it, right? That's the secret. And you will be 100% successful. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Oh, Premananda, before you go, I warn you, you're going to have one round. Wait, I want to have a little, just a little. Come, hurry up here. We'll get a little bit advantage of the situation. And
Hare
Baba is